Hey everybody, Eric the Nobody Trader. It's 5/11/2025, about 10 o'clock where I'm at. And I'm just going to kind of do a weekly update, even though we're kind of still in the same ranges. At least I think we are on the NQ. We'll kind of run through a few charts and see what levels, I'll show you what levels I'm looking at for the week. This is my disclaimer. And I'm just showing you guys what I'm looking at. This is all for education. And anyway, hope everybody had a good week. Let me change this to a daily. So we're looking at a daily chart of the NQ Nasdaq 100 E-mini futures contract. And I talked about that in the last week's video about how this 255 area, they weren't just going to waltz right on through there, So that's still in play, and we are closing beneath it. And we have a couple tail candles here, which, and this is kind of a doji, which means it could go either way. We'll have to see what they do, if they gap it up overnight on news or something like that. But, we're stuck here right now until we start closing above this 2255, 2260 area. Let me zoom that in a little bit here. Yeah, it looks like if we really nail it down, it's 258 and a quarter, 20,258 and a quarter. So until we start closing above this, I'm not looking at any longs. And I'm there again. I'm looking at hourly closes above and below resistance. It really doesn't matter, support or resistance. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at. Let me change. Let's look at an hourly real quick. Yeah, look at all this action right here now. This is kind of indicative of, big, long, bullish. This is bullish on the hourly, but, it's really trying to get through there. A lot of selling going on here. So we'll have to see what happens. But the longer they stay up here against it, I'd be nervous being short. Just because the longer they're sitting there eating up those sell orders, sooner or later they're gonna try to pop above it. So just be careful. Let's see. Let's take a look at the 50%. I don't think we ever made it there. I think it got close. Yeah, they got close here on this dip. They tried to knock it down. Let me zoom in a little bit. Looks like they got down to 682. And I had a level here at the 657. So in the vicinity, but not quite. Really trading around this 956.50 area. It's been good support and resistance at those levels. So we're still looking at needing to get above this area. And just from this pattern that we're making is a kind of a bullish flaggish pattern, but we'll have to see how it unfolds. It could pull back again, before we get another move up. So let's go over the numbers real quick. So the 20,558, 560 area, if we do start getting above there, that's going to be the first wall we kind of hit, that I see looking at the hourly. If we get above that, it's 858.50. We come back down, we got the 656 and 657 level, which will be, should be good support. When it gets there, we'll have to see what it does. And if we drop on back down, we're looking at the 19,356 area. And if we get below that, we're looking at the 19,055 area. So that's what I see on the NQ. Let's take a look at the SPY. Let's go to a daily chart first. throw on a 50% level here. Yeah, so we're still pretty much closing. Look like they closed one day. One day here, they got slightly above it at this 566.20 area, and then it's been getting rejected ever since. We're closing below it. We are forming a trend line here that'd be important to watch out for. It's kind of steep, so but we're kind of doing something like that. So if we break through, break down, we're looking at the 559 area. Below that, if we come down, we're looking at the 552 area again. They did fill this gap over here with that wick right here. It looks like that would have been on the 25th. Or, excuse me, Wednesday the 7th. So we'll have to see if we kind of keep inching up this trend line, or if we roll over, break through it, and break down. If we do get above, start closing above the 566 area, the next resistance is going to be the 574 area. And above that, we have the 580.56 level that I'm looking at here. Let's take a quick look at an hourly chart. So yeah, we're just kind of grinding up here. But man, some pretty crazy moves in the market, I think in the NQ one day there was a 200-point drop, I think, in a 1 minute candle. Just crazy. So I'm being careful, very small positions, just because anything can happen. A bullish trend always comes to an end, and so does a bearish one. So, you just got to be mindful. Maybe this is kind of a spot where we could roll over again. So just be careful out there. Let's take a look at Nivida, which anybody watching this knows I hate this chart. Let's look at the daily first real quick. So we did get rejected up here at the 118.50 level, which I believe I discussed that. We have a slight pullback. Buyers kind of bought it back up a little bit, but we're still trading inside this breakup daily candle here. So until we get a break below, or we start closing above this 118.44, I'm kind of neutral on it. Let's see, let me throw a 50% level on here. So if we start closing above 118.43, 122.74 will be the next big resistance. Above that's 127.05, and then up here is 131.36. Those are the numbers I'm looking at. If we come down, we got the 114.13 area right here. That's is acting as support. And then the next level below that, we have the 109, basically the 109.83, basically the 110 level, which it will be, and they haven't filled this gap all the way either. We still have a gap down here at this 109 level. So if they do break down, start coming down, and they get to this 109.83, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to try to fill that gap there too that goes to the 108.93. So be mindful of that. That's about it for that one. Let's take a look at Tesla. Got rejected here at the 301.20-ish level. We do have a long wick there, which sometimes can spell reversal, but we are in a kind of bullish pullback, tried to make another move up pattern, and we have not started closing below this daily breakup candle. So, and like I think I said in one of my other videos, this, if we look at, we had this big down move in Tesla. Now it kind of looks like it wants to go up, but this is also just sideways consolidation, right? It could be sideways consolidating here and then, essentially roll over and break down again. So, till I see it start closing up above this 302 level, basically, I'm not looking to get long on Tesla yet. Have to see what happens this week with, news and tariffs and all that stuff. Let's take a look at an hourly. Let's get our 50% level on here. So yeah, it looks like the 278.34, is pretty good support. It's, every time it's gotten dipped below there lately, it gets bought back up. So it's kind of hanging in there. And like I say, we need to get above, start closing above the 302 area, for me to start thinking about maybe, going long on it. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Let's see though, if we do go north, we'd be looking at the 313.36, the 325.03, 336.70 area. I mean, those will provide good support / resistance, to see what it does when it gets there. And obviously, if we come back down, we're looking at the 290 level to hold. If we pull back, if this drops all the way down into here, which this is kind of a bearish pattern building inside a bullish candle, so you're going to want to be careful there. And anyway, I think that's about all I got for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, and you can follow me on X. And if there's something in particular somebody wants me to look at, feel free to reach out. Hope you had a great weekend, and good luck trading this week. Thanks.